I'm Sangeeta Waldron, and welcome to Legacy Makers Episode 5. I'm a communications professional and best-selling author, and I co-host this podcast with Giles Trendle. Over to you, Giles.
Thank you, Sangeeta. And my background is in media, and I was formerly the managing director of Al Jazeera English, and now I work on a number of different journalism projects. And one of those projects involves the guest today. Her name is Shrouq Al Aila, and she is a Palestinian journalist from Gaza, and she's made a film on one of the links between climate change and war. That's one of the projects that I've been working on, and her film has been about the agricultural destruction in Gaza as a result of the bombardment. And she's going to be telling us more about that topic. This is a conversation that we actually recorded earlier, and it's a personal, powerful, and poignant testimony from Shrouq. Okay, Shrouq, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast Legacy Makers. And this is a podcast about climate change. And climate change is an existential problem for humanity. But in talking to you, I'm very aware that you're living in Gaza, and there is a much more immediate existential threat for yourself and everybody living in Gaza with the Israeli bombardment. We heard the terrible news a few days ago of the doctor who lost 9 of her children in an airstrike, an Israeli airstrike. So we acknowledge the fact that something like over 53,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of them civilians, many of them women and children. So although we're talking about climate change, I just wanted to put that out there, that we're very aware of this context. But I guess the first question is you've been working on a project linking climate and war, and your film was about the destruction of agriculture and croplands in the Gaza Strip. Can you tell us about that destruction and what it means for the environment and the climate in general?
Well, first of all, I would love to thank you all for having me today. It's a pleasure for me to share my reflection and experience in this with you guys. So, just to be frank, honestly, like mentioning the climate change in an area of a genocide, and like under genocide, it feels like something that is not even connected to reality. And even though like working in this project during such timing, and we are seeing the massive destruction in the infrastructure in all institutions, in all like the entire infrastructure of Gaza like have been totally or partially destroyed. So something like I felt somehow while filming this that I am like in a separate space, that I'm somehow talking about how the climate change that's happening like worse, like, and I felt like who cares about climate change under genocide while we are just smelling all of the time all of this, toxic and poison, gunpowder, all of what is happening here, and focusing on that area. I felt somehow that I have that connection of being a human actually, because recently, frankly, I lost my belief in a humanity because we have been slaughtered in the screen for over 1 year and a half and nothing happened on the ground to stop this madness. But it's really soft to feel somehow that you are connected with such broader concepts of climate change, the animals and all of this stuff that we don't even think about them. So it was such a great experience to work in this project. And just to let you know, it's not my first time to work on such topics. Like I've made lots of researches in terms of the agricultural destruction and how it is somehow systematic by the Israeli army. Like throughout all of the past years, how the borders have been shaped by destroying the land, switching the kind of crops that is planting. When it comes to switching the kind of the crops, like from trees to small trees and all of this stuff, it affects the soil and it makes it more tense and not healthy for the people who are feeding and relying on this. So it's not my first time to work in this, and I felt I've done this before the genocide, and I felt like I'm meeting my previous version of me, like working in this project, because yeah, I love the agriculture topics. I love working, researching, and filming all of this stuff, and it was a pleasure actually to work in this project, even though we are in a place that nobody cares about the trees. Like trees now is never a source of to have a deep say under a tree or something, or to have that green areas. We don't have any longer green areas. My daughter raised up, she's 2 years and a half, she raised up in the, like, she spent more than half of her age during the genocide, and she doesn't know what a green area means. She doesn't know what, let me say, a play yard or whatever, like all of these entertainment places, as we call it, that not accessible or not available any longer because of the destruction or the red zones or all of this stuff. So that's why I told you that I felt somehow connected to humanity, connected to my previous version. Because yeah, I love the green areas, I love the trees. It took me like almost 2 years and a half to work on the herbicides project before, which is one of the Israeli practices in, killing the trees that are quite close to the border between Gaza and the occupied territories, and the army is intending to kill or to make this soil more tense for two reasons. First of all, to have a vision in terms of monitoring. When it comes to trees, there will be that obstacle of monitoring the area and all of this stuff. The second thing that we are relying on this is the food basket of Gaza, these bordering areas. So we are eating this vegetables, fruits, and so I call it as the slowly killing of us, because it's totally poised. It's totally tense in terms of it's not healthy, because like action after action in terms of spreading herbicides on the trees, it dies. It die by time, and also if it is not, it's just transferred from being a source of healthy part to a source of a killing weapon. So I would love to thank you first for giving me this opportunity to focus in this area. Guys, now trees is just a source of wood to cook. I'm so sorry to say this, and it really aches my heart whenever I see a tree that has just been cut because of people are not having any alternatives. There is no cooking gas, so we are switching to that. Unfortunately, that alternative to do wood firing to eat or to cook or to have some heat in terms of winter and the cold weather. So
And Shrouq, if I
yeah.
can, last time we spoke, and the reason I interject is, you told me something which was really poignant. You said that, as you said, people are cutting down trees for wood in order to cook because they've been bombed out of their homes, and you said it was like killing children in a way because the Palestinians are so connected to their olive trees, their crops. Can you just talk about that?
Absolutely. Like I've met many farmers who they told me that we kept this option to be the last option, which is the option of cutting the tree. And I remember one of them, he started to cry. He said, like, I raised up this tree. It's just almost like it is the same age of my little kid, and now he's like 20 something. So I raised this tree the same way I raised my children. I feed it. I feed this tree. I took care of it in terms of pesticides, and giving all of that natural pesticides to the trees. And just to that taking care of trees here in Gaza is somehow consuming. So when there is someone who's taking care of his garden or her garden, it means that they are paying for this the same way that you are paying to growing up your kid. So one of them, like, he started to cry, and he said, like, it reminds me of the old gold days. And I remember this year when it was very small. And one of them told me that when this tree my mother planted herself, and she's gone like years ago, and it's just a memorial connection with his a physical connection with his mom. So like he says, like, each time I water this tree, I feel like my mother is smiling over me, like that I'm doing something, that I'm sending her some of the goods. So he felt that this is a physical connection between him and his mother. And I remember a woman farmer, she said, like, I inherited this land from my father. He educated me how to be a farmer, a good farmer. And when he passed away, he left me this land. I took this land, as a kind of a source of income. But I do have a home that's just in another area, not in the same area of this land. But I made that, that small tent inside the or small room covered with fabrics of tent. And she said, like, because I'm somehow, I don't feel like I need to go home. This is my home. Sometimes I cook, I do my cooking, like in the garden, and I just take it to the home. You see this for that level, how people are loving their trees, how they are, commitment to this. And even though if it is not a source of income, it is a source of many things. We are here in Gaza. We like Palestine in general is known with the trade of citrus, especially orange and the orange lemon. And we are so famous with the olive trees. And olive trees, like, you never, like, it take you ages to raise up a tree, olive tree. That this olive tree will give you like olives by the end, or olive oil. I remember I was actually displaced to the south of part of the Gaza Strip, and I had no options, so I lived in a tent for 6 months. But each time everyone say, like, used to ask me how it feels like to be in a tent, I say I'm living in a tent that is just surrounding with olive trees. It was, a private farm for one of my relatives. So I, like, each time I say I'm living in a VIB makeshift tent because I'm like, I yeah, living in a tent is such unbearable, unimaginable, and like inhuman. But it's just only the olive trees that make it more soft on me, actually, because the breeze that comes from the street. I love the green areas. It's not common nowadays to see the trees. Um, and let me say the olives, these trees, they feed us of olive. We are in a tight blockade, so we don't have anything in terms of food and all of this stuff. So we use the olive of these trees, and I distribute it among the people that I know. I give them, like, this is from the farm that I'm displaced at. Because it's a kind of like a source. It's a luxury to have olive during such timing. Like, who knows how many trees left so far. also, we are like, it's just a kind of tradition that each one in Gaza loves olive trees, the olive oil, and so I felt like I'm gifting my friends this, this small share of olive. Um, so before this podcast, I was filming in a school that have been attacked with 4 rockets, and almost more than 31 have been killed, mostly children. I was filming and I was wondering, like, the school, which is a shelter, is destroyed, like all of the rubble just lying in the street because of the massive destruction in the area. And guess what? Like, the only thing that caught my insight in this, that the trees are still standing, literally. So the tree is just giving a shadow on the ripples. Like, people got killed under this tree, but the tree is still standing. I know it is somehow nonsense when it comes that people are being killed here, but we are like severely critically connected to land. So we consider this, it is a scene of death, but this tree is just a sign of raising up, of steadfasting, of that they killed the people, they did not destroy this tree. Otherwise, it will be destroyed in a way or another, because people would go eventually to cut it, to use it for wood firing and all of this stuff. But amongst all of this, we are living in gray and blood colors. Those are the only colors that we see all the time. And it's really a relief to see green things,
Yeah.
literally.
Shrouq, I want to ask you, I mean, you've beautifully described the deep connection between your people and nature, and the connection between the trees. And you've described very graphically how devastated that area is now. What about the pollinators, the birds? Is that now completely gone? Is it?
Well, in terms of birds,
Mm.
uh, sometimes I'm gonna give you my personal
Please
reflection
do.
on this,
Yes.
okay? So sometimes when I share on my social media pages a story of like a smoke because of a massive attack happened in that area, and the smoke is just showing up like a very big cloud of smoke, and I do just do like a short story about this, short video. I like you will never I got amazed with the messages that I'm receiving from the followers, that they are saying, "Oh, Shuru, there's birds in the background."
Mm.
I did not actually notice this, because there are something like, I'm thinking about the attack, what they targeted, for those who got killed, or for those who lost their beloved ones, and blah blah blah. I'm not thinking about the background voice. And people are saying, "Oh, this is a symbol of hope." Those
Yeah.
followers from living out, like outside of Gaza, and each time, like, I receive like multiple, uh, let me say, reactions or comments over this. So I started to notice myself that yes, I'm filming this dead, like it is a death sign, but in the background the birds are singing. So yet, yeah, we still have birds, which is such a good thing. And it's really ironic when it comes to morning coffee before leaving to work if I got time. It depends actually on the events. Um, Unfortunately, I like him like consider yourself drinking your morning coffee on the balcony. I'm lucky. I'm displaced at an apartment. I'm lucky. I'm not complaining at all, even if it is just very small. I'm not complaining. I'm lucky. Like, people are living in the streets, and I know what it means, like, to live in a tent. But anyways, I'm living in a balcony. I'm not like romanticize the war, never. But living in the like in the like sitting in the balcony, drinking your coffee, all of the view is just a desert of rubble. What
Mm.
a view! Like, it literally, it ruins my day. It ruins my day, because you are drinking your coffee just to stay focused. because you have lots of work, and I just keep gazing about the view that I'm having from my balcony. It's just all about destruction and how people cooking in the street, how like do lighting the wood, all of this stuff. But still, there are birds.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it's so ironic, so ironic. Like we are living in a in a death place, literally. We are smelling death all of the time, but still hearing the birds. But noticeably, it is not the same. Let me say, not all of the kinds of birds as it used before. Not that amount of birds as it used before. I believe like many birds got killed because of the attacks. Many birds got, they already immigrant because of, what a place to stay in. So like in terms of birds and all of these kind of all these creatures, they are still here. They are like reminding us of hope, reminding us of beautiful morning as we used to have them before.
Yeah.
It's a connection, by the way. It's really a connection. Like I'm chasing all kind of connections to just to feel that I'm somehow alive. Because I'm believing that I'm surviving, not living, and it really differs. So sometimes when I'm most of the time depressed, I'm sorry to say this, but this is the environment that we are living in, like.
You said sorry, Shrouq,
But
you said something, you just said something. I just want to ask you,
yeah,
because you said it, you said you're not living, you're surviving. And I guess what you're also doing right now is not just reporting, but you're actually living what is happening there. You're not just reporting as a journalist, you're living the war at the same time.
well, like I've been working as a journalist for many years, and each time I'm filming, documenting stories, but I've never been a story myself. So
Yeah.
what happened during the genocide since day one, like because I lost my husband. He's the journalist Roshdi Sarraj. He's a very well-known journalist and filmmaker. I lost him in the second week of this genocide, in the very beginning. So we just still, we were in that era of just recognizing what we are living in. I lost him in, like, as we say sometimes, in the beginning of the road. So it was really, it is still, I cannot talk about this just in the past because it's still continuing. Like there is no
Yes.
way of healing under genocide. There is no way of um moving on, uh, or having your space of like that space of grief, that kind of privacy and all of this stuff. Like for example, I know it's such nonsense for the people, but it means a lot for me. Like I've been displaced in the south. The grave of my husband was in the north. So when the ceasefire went into effect and we returned, I just ran to the grave of my husband. The only physical connection with my husband, because we already lost his car, the our apartment. It's a roof home apartment that is just in front of the sea, a very big one, and like it's totally wiped out. I'm not even able to find the rapples because of the massive attack that happened to the area. So nothing left of his belongingness for me. So I'm so connected. I'm sincerely connected to his grave, and each like I go there like almost every day. Because he used to be my best friend, not my husband. And recently, and this is one of the things that actually drives me crazy these days, and that I'm somehow depressed. And I try as much as I can to not just to pull myself out of depression, because it's not a suitable time at all to break down, literally. So his grave locates now in the red zone with a military invasion. And it really drives me crazy that this grave in a risky area that I cannot reach it. I cannot go there. And also I'm holding that fear that they might destroy the ceremony, because they already done this before during the genocide. They destroyed many ceremonies. The ceremony that he's living in, let me say, he's not living, but it's partially destroyed before the ceasefire. And I got lucky that his grave survived this. You know, they are. It feels like they are killing the killing. They killed people. It's so nonsense. It's so nonsense. Yeah, and I believe like he's not here just in the like watching over us as a guardian angel and all of this stuff, but as a wife, as a best friend of him, I don't have his blankness anymore. And this is the only blankness that I have, his grave. And this is the only way that I can explain to my little daughter, my fatherless daughter, that this is the grave of your father. We had a beautiful life. You had a very beautiful, fantastic room, a very big house in front in the sea with a terrace, with garden and flowers and all of this stuff. And your father had a jeep. We were living the maximum, like literally, we are living our life as the maximum. And this is a kind of this grave. It's a connection for my daughter. Okay, for me, I have memories with him, but my daughter, she doesn't. You know, he got killed when she was 11 months old. She was breastfeeding at that time. So she will never, like, the name of my daughter is Dania. Dania in Arabic means close. So we decided to name her close because she will be forever close to daddy's face, mommy's face. But I'm somehow devastating with the idea that she will never close to daddy's. She will never even recall the face of her father because she was very young. She was orphaned in a very young age that she will never remember his face. And the only thing that just left is just the photos. So I'm afraid somehow that anything happened to me, to my phone and all of this stuff. So I'm sending the photos of my daughter and husband to my friends abroad, my brothers abroad, my family abroad. Because if anything happened to me or to my phone, there will be another copies for my daughter.
Mm.
I'm trying to take all of that means of just minimizing her grief, but I'm just trying. But
Yeah. I mean, Shrouq, you've spoken about the tragedy of your husband being killed, and more recently, I believe one of the crew on the film that you made was also killed, Mahmoud Sarraj. Um, how do you carry on as a journalist? I mean, what amid all this personal tragedy, and how do you feel about telling these stories? How does that help you carry on amid all this tragedy and this depression? And I know you won an award from the Committee to Protect Journalists last year, International Press Freedom Award. You weren't able to go, you weren't allowed out of Gaza. How does journalism and telling the story help you? Does it help you?
well, first of all, I want to mention Mahmoud Sarraj. He's the brother of my husband. He got killed during the ceasefire. He was filming in Beit Lahia in the north of the Gaza Strip. He was filming a camp that just established for the displaced people when the army killed him along with 8 colleagues. He was holding his camera when he got killed. Mahmoud, he's the one who filmed because he was in the north, I was in the south, so we filmed the part in the south, he filmed the part in the north. So he participated in this film as well, and it really acts that it feels like you're losing your team, your colleagues, and you are still in the same field that you are losing your beloved ones in. So I'm reporting not because I'm feeling that this will do any change actually, because I lost hope in this. خلاص يعني it feels like we made the ultimate. We have been slaughtered in the screen with all kind of or faces of killing, and nothing happened to change this or to stop this. So I'm not believing in message anymore, literally. And I'm so sorry to say this. And it's really a burden on me, like my work is just nonsense and it's not noticeable or remarkable or making any effort to change anything. But I'm doing this because I'm feeling it is an ethical commitment toward my country, my husband, and my fellow journalists and their friends that have been killed during the genocide. So it turned out from being a duty to be a commitment, because I believe in a way or another I have the ability to report, to tell the truth, even if there's anybody, even if the war is giving us a deaf ear. But I'm just doing this as a kind of revenge for those like my entire life has been changed. Literally, I'm not the same person anymore. And yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrouq, I want to ask you, you said you don't believe in a message anymore because probably you feel you're not being heard. But if there was a message you could give to people, what message would you want to give?
well, basically, they are like those who are saying like, "Ah, we are praying for you." It feels like just they are like sending flowers on our
Yeah.
plot. It's just okay. It's not about prayer. It's just not. You have to pray. This is something that you are obligated to do. But I believe that there are many actions that should be taken. Like for example, boycotting the Israeli goods, because each time they are supporting the like they are like giving the army a chance to be financially secure to bomb us. Okay, because it's just a circle. You buy this and then it goes to this to this to this, and then a baby
Yeah.
have been killed, and a kind of like under like protesting, because like massive demonstration can make an effort to change the or to make a pressure on the governments to make an action in this. And I'm holding a big regret to to uh, to my fellow international journalists abroad. Like we have seen, like it's like since ages, whenever there is a war zone in Sudan, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in Libya, in Egypt, in Ukraine, in Russia, and all of these places, whenever there is a war zone, there is also that international coverage from different places that they are coming to do the coverage. It's just only Gaza that left behind. And those journalists, okay, I know the Israeli army is blocking the international journalists to enter Gaza to do the coverage and blah blah blah. Okay, I know this. But I also believe that journalists can make pressure in the media, and this pressure can, in a way or another, push the Israeli army to allow internationals to enter Gaza to do the coverage, because as journalists, we are super exhausted. We are hungry, we're displaced, terrified, and we are losing our energy.
Mm.
We are not superheroes, and those who are saying, "Oh, you're super," I'm not a superhero. Literally, I don't want to be a superhero. You come, be a superhero yourself. Don't just show that kind of support that you are a superhero, you are doing this and this and this. I'm not a superhero. I'm obligated to endure this reality. And if I have the option to stop this, I will stop it for sure. Who can survive this? This is something that just beyond imagination. So those like international journalists, they should do more pressure in the media to push the Israeli authority to allow the foreigner journalists to enter Gaza, because we are totally exhausted. Okay, and also we are not okay. We are educated. we are blah, 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 but yet we don't speak all of the tongues. So we need other tongues to join us. And also, like if we're talking about the Israeli propaganda, like it took Israel years to build this propaganda, and Israel itself ruined it by the slaughtering that is just happening, that nobody can, justify this. And we are, as journalists, we are the primary source of information here, because there's no other way of this information. And still Israel is trying to false this reality, to fake it or fabricating or whatever. So we need other international media to join us and just to press the record on the camera and just record this reality.
Yeah, it's so true what you say. The Palestinian journalists in Gaza have been doing an incredible sacrifice, but you're right, you're not superheroes, and there needs to be international access, not embedded with the Israeli army as some journalists have gone in, but true access, independent access. Shrouq, thank you so much for talking to us. We have one final question that we ask guests, but I know that in this context, I'll slightly reframe it, because usually we ask people, if you were the leader of your country, what would you do to help humanity save the planet? But in your case, I guess we're talking about a future state of Palestine. If you were a leader of the future state of Palestine, what's the one thing that you might do to help save people?
Well, in general, if I'm the leader or whatever who's a leader, there is no state of peace while there is occupation. And this is something that's just bigger than all of this. We have seen what happened the 7th of October and what happened after the 7th of October. So this is something that just beyond our abilities. Even the makers, the decision makers and all of this, like it's something like just bigger than all of us. America is giving support to Israel. Many Arab and foreign countries are showing support to Israel. So this is something that's just bigger than our abilities. But if I got the opportunity to be a superhero to change this reality, first of all, I would end the occupation. And then you will see how much we Palestinian love life. And you will see how we treasure every single moment. Like even though even during the genocide, if I got a drinkable, clean water, I'll say, alhamdulillah, like I'm better than others. People are not having this. So I'm cherishing this water, because I know what it means to be starving, to be thirsty, and drinking the sea water and all of this stuff. So we, as the phoenix, we raise up from our rubble, from our ashes once again. But first of all, this madness, this genocide should be ended. A ceasefire should be taken into effect very soon. Now, not how soon is soon. It should be now, because each minute equals a life here.
Yeah.
Brooke, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you doesn't seem enough. And I personally, I would like to apologize on behalf of the rest of the world for not stepping up sooner and stronger. And I don't want to say thank you. I want to say I'm sorry, because that's how I genuinely feel.
Thank you for showing your story. I really appreciate this opportunity. You are doing your best. You are giving me a platform to speak up. Don't feel like you are not doing anything. And this is a kind of action, because you are using your platforms to spread the awareness about the Palestinian cause in general, and the genocide in Gaza in particular. I appreciate this opportunity. I would love to thank you both for giving this opportunity for me, and I would love to thank the audience for listening for me. Big love, big thanks, and big salam from Gaza under genocide.
Thank you.
Shrouq.
Big love back.
And I
Okay,
know
guys.
it next week or in the next 10 days, it's Eid al-Adha, the Muslim holiday. So wishing you and your daughter and your extended family Eid Mubarak.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
So Sangeeta, we've heard from Shrouq. What did you think of that conversation?
I have to sort of draw a breath a little bit. I mean, it was haunting, very, very haunting. And while speaking to Shrouq, you could feel her exhaustion with everything because you're not living, I don't think you're even surviving. It was, I mean, that this conversation opens up so many different feelings and emotions when you're listening to her.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very powerful. It was very poignant. So we have the offbeat episode coming up. That'll be episode 6, and that's where you and I will be reflecting on this interview that we have just had with Shrouq. So shall we leave it till then?
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, Giles, because it is reflective, and I think it's going to be a different offbeat to what we normally have. So look forward to that.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.